So for the side sleeping, it requires a little bit more work. Now, people ask me, Vince, where do you sleep? And I am a side sleeper, and it's taken me a few years to really hone in on the best position to sleep that really is supportive as well, because I want to make sure when you're in a position you feel supported and not too restless and out of turn. So I find for the sleep, starting from the head, I use one of those curved pillows that tend to help for the gap in around the shoulder, so it tends to sit in there. That's what I use. I'll use one of those memory foam with the curve, but I also use a very thin pillow underneath it, because I find keeping it slightly more elevated is more supportive than letting the head fall down. So I tend to have a thin pillow down and one of those memory foam pillows with the curve in it to support the head and neck. That's how I would do it. So from here, I would lie down and I make sure that my head is slightly higher than the shoulders. Now, I like to keep my arm down and my shoulder down is what I want to do. I don't want to bring the arm up here. I want to keep it slightly down. A lot of people make that mistake. When you keep the arm up, it tends to tighten the shoulder. Keep the arm pulled down, keep it supported there. When you're in this position, this is a start position, so my head's slightly elevated. Now, I like to, they say side sleep, but it's actually 3/4 side and 1/4 on your back. So what I like to do is add a wedge. You can get these here wee wedges online, and add a wedge to my back, and I like to lean into that because then my back's supported. Some people will stuff the duvet in behind them, but I tend to find it's not supportive enough and it's too soft. So I like to lean on perfectly on my side, pop the wedge in, and then lean into the back of it. And it feels like I'm completely supported there, and then I'm so there. So that's my 3/4 back. If you do lie on your side completely, you tend to find you're going to end up with a dead arm because you're going to stop the blood in. So you want to be 3/4. It also keeps the chest a little bit more open, so you get better breathing as well, so the body doesn't feel too locked up. Then from this here, I tend to make sure I try to keep as straight as possible. People, when they get into side sleep, they make this mistake. They crunch in. But if you're in this position for 8 hours, you're going to leave yourself very, very tight in around the hips and shoulders. So you want to make sure you're straight as you can be, so you're keeping all the body in its natural position, and then gently relax, because you'll gently fall into a smaller position. Now from here, I like to support in between the knees. So there's two options. Pillow in between the knees is great because it keeps the hips in line. If that knee is on top of the other knee, or if it's crossed, it tends to pull on that hip, which tends to leave the back and hips sore. So support the hips by keeping that on top of that. Now, I use the pillow sometimes, but I find the pillow tends to get caught around in bed. So then I've decided to get one of these special pillows with the strap that whenever you put on here, slide it on, it keeps it in place and it's less bulky. So sometimes I'll go from one side to the other and it stays here. That means that I push away and gently relax, keeping everything straight. My head's here, and then I'll relax into the back. And that is the perfect way to side sleep. I've tried every other way, but this is the most supportive to protect the spine. So those are the cues, how to get the perfect side sleep position to support the body. Now, one last thing is, anytime you're sleeping in any position you want to do, make sure that you're keeping the mouth closed and ensuring you're breathing through the nose, because this ensures the nervous system stays healthy. Anytime you're breathing through the mouth, the body goes into fight or flight because you tend to have to upper chest breathe. So remember, breathing through the nose allows for the best sleep. There is tape, as I mentioned before, to help for that, and that's really the best three. Now, if you've stayed to the end, you're going to get your bonus tip. So the bonus tip to help for the best night's sleep, to really get deeper sleep, you have to elevate the legs before you go to bed. So if you elevate the legs in an L shape, and just going to point it all up here, you'll see it up there. Once you elevate the legs, what it does, it helps to, it sort of puts the brain to sleep, because when the legs are up, the blood flow goes down from the legs, and as soon as that happens, it sort of shuts off the brain, and you tend to find the voices, the noises, everything starts to quieten. So you want a deeper sleep, and you tend to find your mind's very active. Elevate the legs for maybe 20 minutes before you go to bed, and you'll find you'll start yawning, you get very tired, and basically it's the brain and calms the brain, especially if you had a hectic day. So that's my number one tip for getting a deeper sleep. Elevate the legs, try out these different positions, and try out these different pillow supports, and they're amazing for helping you get a deep sleep. So guys, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, comment below. If you want to see any other videos, just mention there and I'm more than happy to share with you. But until the next time, happy sleeping.